Are ready? Shom Jujin Je Poroni, Tusan Sonji Ganjang Avonia, Ronsan Chugung on Satan Zip. Tavala Meshabla Sorbandi, Dawson Rovel, not Chula here. Sasan Dungar Gender Chijin Chen, Yasumi Ponchiva Jelaso, Samchanton, near the Down Chuna. Tambanam Jinun Tatar the Su. Now we are continue to research different words, different realms, different state. According the realms, different realms. And also, we are very happy we investigate different situation, and also we are experience different sentient beings situation. Everything's entities or an entity or animate or inanimate. Everything is built by the 4 or 5 elements and comes from the 5 aggregation. Aggregation is, or aggregations are also related to the 5 elements. And elements are linked to each other. And also macroorganism perspective. And when we look at each element itself has the coding the own element. There's also existent the other element. 5 elements difficult to separate. My meaning is, for example, earth element. We say it's the element of the earth, but earth element itself, earth elements water, earth elements space, earth elements fire, earth elements earth. Same as the water element. When we look, the water is like principally water element. But also water itself has earth, fire, and air, space. One is missing in the water element. Water has become dirty. Water cannot be water. And they are all the time supporting, but very funny things. Those elements, they can transform. Water as maybe can become the earth. Water can become the air. Water can become the fire. Water can become absolutely space. And also earth can become water. Earth can become the wind. earth can become the space, earth can become fire. There is no kind of the fixation, very open, tolerant, but reality primary, our cause in the relative point of view, that is the element. And elements build up non-animate or inanimate, or animate, inanimate. But some animate is materials. They haven't got much sensations. But also when we look very carefully, yes, some flower, tree, grass, looks like they have sensation. Maybe those are the sensations, maybe more occur. And sometimes, probably there are some animate, not really inanimate. Why? Because some ephemeral sentient beings, animate, may be living there. But anyway, very much unpredictable. But anyway, obvious, direct, truthfully, animate, which is the compounded by the element, but very special organism or mentalism. In our body, in this kind of the pile of the 5 aggregations, this form, or this hill means it's like a mountain, or this house, or this body. Reality, these are like inanimate. For example, when we died, or maybe you can to cut piece of your body to put some in the different way, it's absolutely useless. Just material. When we died, after our body become earth, maybe become wind, become the like kind of material. But at the moment, we see inside this house or this body, there is one very special. And of course, the researchers, they're researching about that many, many years and years. And someone says that is the heart. And someone say the spirit. Someone say the soul. Someone says the consciousness. Someone say the brain, mind. But whatever you call, if you like, you can call. But when we are real to investigate that, it's a very special. When we investigate that one, even the ourself. When we are hungry, absolutely this person, being, I don't know, we don't know. And kind of saying, I'm hungry, I'm suffering, have feeling, difficult to control. Same as you have thirsty, also this person say thirsty. And when we have comfortable situation, this person say, I'm happy. When it's like uncomfortable situation or like some negative circumstances occurring, say, I'm not happy. When we are, who is telling to us? By body, or by the brain, or by the physical heart? And that we are searching. But anyway, globally, generally, truth speaking, that one is the most important. Any kind of the mind's perspective. My meaning is like, whoever have this spatial reality, receiver of the sense, receiver of the feeling, And that one is a very special. It doesn't matter externally you call the human or animal or insect. It doesn't matter you be in the different state. This kind of the spatial mind or brain living in the hell or hungry ghost, animal or human, any different realms, it doesn't matter. There is like we call the mind or brain. It needed all the time is happiness. And it doesn't want any kind of the sufferings. And that is our most important. I have this one, you have that. And whoever have some the form of the 5 element, or 5 element build some form, that one is enhanced, this spatial, you call the minds. And then this form of the piles is become very active, very kind of the, we call the different human beings, transmigrations, moving, working, talking, chatting, beating, killing, supporting, loving, I say love each other. And also it's like that, this is truth. Then it's like our minds, or our these spatials, and other spatials of the mind, or the spirit, it doesn't matter, whatever you want, call. And all this one is same. When you have, I have, itself, the perspective, it's very much way of the thinking, way of the concerning, it's same. For example, some without analysis, without investigations, without understanding. And of course, I'm selfish. I'm thinking I have that spatial. I call the mind. My mind. I have feeling. I need happy. I don't want to be suffering. But when I look at you, it's difficult to believe. Do you have mind? Do you have really is this sense, this kind of notion of the feeling, suffering, and happiness? And we need to study. You know, it's like even our human beings, most important, very much intelligent. We are kind of the very social transmigration, very intelligent transmigration, and very much selfish transgression or animals. And we quite understand ourselves, not fully, but very difficult to understand others. When we need, and then we contact to others. And like kind of look in the, we can to look at the anything, object, belongings. When we love, we like it very much. When we have desire, oh yes, everything is become beautiful. Says, for example, I want to show this cup. If I this cup like or love, if I desire, and then says, that's the cup I need. Then I can to support this cup, to very carefully, to wash up, and to clean, to put in the cupboard, very carefully. Maybe I'm nothing interest. I don't like. And it's just nothing desire, nothing. Probably I can to break. I have to put in the rubbish bin. I'm become careless. And my cup says, it's your cup. You take care. And I say, I haven't got much desire. I haven't got much interest. Useless. Exactly like this. Even that it's like we are like we love to the other transmigration, your partner, your like friend, your own say children, or your something. Also, we expecting to them, maybe they make me happy, they make me bring something, pleasure, entertainment. And then according to these expectings, we love each other. But it's like this interest lost, no anymore desire, no anymore interested, then hesitation is coming. Even you can kill to each other, almost not much caring. That is the big kind of problems. We are never like kind of investigate to the others' feelings. Look at those hells. Maybe those hells, maybe it's the hell itself, maybe not existence, but maybe some sentient beings, they are experiencing or experience like this situation. We should to explore, we should to think about that, really. Maybe some of them is our very good friend. Maybe they are, of course, according to Buddha's teachings, they are same as we are. And therefore, it is we should to think others. For example, if you really, according to your compassion, kindness, bodhicittas, you searching to the others, you understand others like a mind, like same as you. You understand your family's mind situation, your partner, your friend, your children, parents. And then you naturally love. It's like a pure love, pure intention. And it's coming. Doesn't matter if maybe this person is some injured, some sufferings, maybe complain to you, disturb to you, cry to you, and you understand this person's inner situation or outer situations, you understand, then you have more sympathetic towards. Yes, I need help. I want to be more close. Why? Because I understand this person's situation. It doesn't matter you disturb me. It doesn't matter complain. Because this person has some problems, same as myself. Then this is we call the pure compassions. And also it's like an impartial compassion. And you look in the word of my perfect teachers, and later we can to see in the explanation of the bodhicitta, they says, you look at the three type of the different you or other sentient beings. Some those sentient beings become your relative, friend, family. Some those sentient beings become your enemy. Some those sentient beings is become like neutral, not much connect, not enemies. But we analyze all these three objects, relative, family, or family relative, and enemy, and neutral. And there is mentally, physically, verbally, they are absolutely same. It doesn't matter your enemy or it doesn't matter your families. And both mind are the concerning exactly the same. And then we can to compare ourselves, family, relative, enemy, neutrals, ourselves, four peoples together, way of the thinking. Often the holiness, the Dalai Lama, he expressed it. We are physically, mentally, verbally, we are same, absolutely same. And therefore, also it's Buddha, he said, to take example yourself, do not hurting, do not kind of killing or disturb to the other sentient beings. Therefore, the Buddha's activities is no harming. View is the supreme emptiness. Action is the link interdependency, or non-action, the kind of no harming to the others. Then it's become the superiors, beneficial, really very much. For example, it's I'm sometimes watching the history of the biography of some superiors, like included Buddha himself, his story. Since they are grow up, someone has automatically to concern it to the others. When I was in the Buddhist university here in Singha, there are some follower of the student, extraordinary. They want to help to the others day and night. They don't much care themselves. They all the time support to the others, caring to the others, give love to others. Others are more important than themselves. But then slowly, this kind of like noble beings are become the extraordinary, the object of the most like kind of the venerable. And everybody love, everybody is like can take refuge in it. It's the truth. Myself, I have this kind of feeling. If you really, sincerely, honestly, kind of truthfully to taking care of me, it doesn't matter you are intelligent, rich, powerful, or beautiful, or handsome. I don't care these things. Maybe you are very poor, very ugly, but you are really too close to really serious, honest, and to give really serious compassion, caring. These affections is coming to me. I can to automatically take refuge in you. I'll be very happy. I can to follow you. I love this, your kindness. That's like this. We should do also kindness to the others, particularly those hell realms. And today we are more explore. We are traveling through this ephemeral hell. The ephemeral hell is uncertainty. They are living in the different locations. And it's it's difficult to say. There is one I want to say is Masha. She discovered kind of to say in the iron shamali trees. In Tibetan, these chapters, the heading line, it says Shamali Dombo. The hell of the Shamali Dombo means, how do you say, it's like the hell or the iron Shamali trees. And this English translator says the hill, like a small mountain, hill Shamali trees. And also in Tibetan, you can to say the Shamali R. You just li and add the ndeda, lakala and wakara, li, rud, rakar, rokar, and probably it's not make a mistake, because this has some is like kind of the maybe English translator. This translator I met maybe is very close to the Dzogchen Rinpoche. Probably they receive this kind of, normally say, after the explanation they're talking about mountain. Like kind of this one is someone born in the hell of the Shamali hell trees. And they're talking about like these lovers calling in the top of the mountain. Then they are going up. And also it's like we arrive this person in the top of the mountain, and then also the person is calling in the below of the mountain. But of course, it's like Masha, she says like also the tree is possible to can say, because this Shamali tree is very big, huge, and you climb on it, it's quite very difficult. Very logically, that is very nice in the modern, she said. But you can to say it's Shamali R. And some in the dictionary, they said the Shamali R. In the Tibetans, in the word of my perfect teacher, is Shamali. Dombo means Arun Shamali tree. But in English translate, they call the hill, Arun Shamali tree. And that you can to say is like hill is a river. It's okay, no problem. Okay, and that's one. And then as I'm jumping very fastly, I take the Concorde to go to and explore the femoral hell, And then it's like we are sightseeing inside. And for hours it's wonderful. Like a kind of Buddha, he explored, some in the, his own in the retinue in the kingdom. He went to some different areas, extremely poor. But when he go to inside himself, no problem. But then he looked around, everybody is problem. Someone's sick, someone's dying, someone's hungry. It's a big problem. But for him, it's no problem. But he's like, he still thinks I'm coming to here like sightseeing. No, I need to explore how they are suffering. And he's crying to ask to the Shana, what can I do? Those old age sufferings, sick sufferings, dying sufferings. If also royal family sometimes happened, he say. With his attendants, Shana say, yes, my Lord. Also, you well sick, you well old, you well die. And he explored them. It's like when we are go to in the zoo, though some animal is very funny, but they are suffering, but we are just sightseeing, making fun of it. We are sightseeing in the ephemeral realms, not kind of like going into the zoo. We're going into there to really explore the situation, how it's going on. Maybe it's like ephemeral, the beings are maybe living different locations. Yesterday they say it's crushed between the rock and emerge into the rock, a stone. Even that they're living in the fire, boil water, in the pillar, on the door, in the stove, and even the pans, is they think they are like kind of their body. Maybe it's taking care in your kitchen. When you are making food, it's like your pan is took out and put in the fire. Before you put the oil and you are make hot, maybe there is beings. Oh, I'm hot. And then you put oil, and also oil is boiling. And then you put your like kind of the recipient of the food, and maybe it's a feeling eating, and take out feeling is emptiness. Like it, this sort of possible, and they kind of consider those sentient beings. They think their body, the like. And if we are in these situations, we have big injured, we have problems. We are asked to help to the other sentient beings. But of course, who can to help? Maybe I would to say someone can help, but best helper is our own self. If we can to look at ourselves, I would to say, okay, I'm sick, I have diabetic, sugar problem, and kidney, blah, blah. Go to in the hospital, complain to the doctors. Could you help me? Doctors maybe do best, give advice, give medicine, kind of supporting. But if I don't care, if I don't support myself, surely it doesn't work. If I'm really to support myself, to taking care, and I think that is the best. Therefore, Buddha Shakyamuni, your liberator is yourself. Your guide is yourself. You can liberate yourself. You can help yourself. And if someone says like, oh, do I need help to use? And someone's reply says, yes, if you really want to help me, you should to help yourself. Then is you help me. What does the reality it means? For example, we often to say is like, oh, do you need help? Particularly in the Buddhist teacher's perspective, you asked to your teacher or the masters, say, do you need help? Probably this person says not. If you really want to help me, you should help yourself. What does it mean? For example, teachers teach you, it's like a kind of what is the right and the wrong. And you accept it, acknowledge it, and you bring into in your heart. You changed and to become the noble, to become the good person. That is the teacher responsibility. That is the best present to the teacher. That is the really big effort. Really, you be close, you kind of give things, and maybe material things. Maybe I'm not sure it is can to. It's to offer to your master the best it is. You change yourself. You change like kind of your characteristics, your behaviors. You become more compassionate. You are completely different before you follow your master, after you follow the masters. And that is the best supporting to the teacher. That is the big offering. This is the big kind of help. Like this. Then it's you change yourself. And also therefore, Buddha, he said, it's like he discovered that. It's a beginning, he discovered the situation of all the sentient beings' sufferings. And then he asked to many spiritual practitioners who can to help. Of course, everybody's replied to him. Don't worry, everybody to have put faith into the God creation. If something in the space, surely there is. We can to pray, to sacrifice, offer, that they can help. He's totally desperate. He lost the faith, devotion. Why? He said, if there's something in the space, why we need to offer and pray, to put faith? If something in the space has power, strength, can to control, can have a power, please to do quickly, urgently, right now, need to make liberation those suffering sentient beings. And then it's like in that moment, those Brahma, Hindu traditions, and they call the atheist, the Gautama, as no believe. He don't believe. He is against the Shiva or the gods. And first Kashyapani, he was the great follower of the Hindu, he was great master. So he was Rishi. And once he came, he wanted to argue with Buddha. And he came to there, and he a little argued. Buddha didn't say nothing. Okay, we can, he says, you are the non-believer, kind of, how to say, in the English language, vegans. I don't know. It is like this. It's like sarcastic to him. He says, I'm not sure. Okay, we can talk. And then once Kashyapani meditating under some near the river, I told you. And then Buddhas came. Kashyapani, it's your great. Can I ask to you? And then he said, yes. But you are not believe any in the space, some God. How I can to talk? Yeah, this no problem. And I have one question. In the near there is river, Nirandana. And if I want to cross this river, how can I to cross these rivers? Kashyapani is like a very proudly to say, easy. Maybe you can use a boat, maybe you can to sumi, maybe you can to feet cross. Buddha said, that's right, your answer is fantastic. But second questions, he said, if I'm sitting here to say, may I cross this river and may I be in the other shore, I don't move. I don't kind of doing nothing. I just to pray and to sacrifice myself. I'm sitting here. Can I reach in the other side? No, that is not. That's right. We need to put effort ourselves. Oh yes. Then we need to put ourselves. Then who is kind of to make liberate? Of course, if we can to do something, we can to be liberation. That's I believed. In this perspective, I believe our own self is the God. Our own self is the Buddha. Our own self is the liberator. And also, I myself, I liberated myself, I think, from my disturbed emotion through my own meditations, through my own realizations. I think it's the liberation comes from in my mind. Therefore, I discovered something. And then it's like Kashyapani said, that is the kind of I never heard. And he cannot to stop. He's become the student of the Buddha. Most like it's important Buddha student. And also very kindly, the Kashyapani, after the Buddha's passed, and the same years, in the summer, then he collect Buddha's all the first teaching collections, principally the person of the Kashyapani. I think so. Maybe I made a mistake. Like this, we need to support our own self. It's very important. Therefore, sometimes you say, some you ask to the masters, do you need help? Yes, if you want to help me, you need help yourself, you change it. Therefore, we need to, it's like kind of analyze ourselves, and really it's like to take example. Now we changed to then it's others is also it's very important. And yesterday we are like kind of talking about their special different type of the priest or the lamas. And they're also taking care. Why? Because if you become the black horse rider, these are in the Uzons some very famous, venerable kind of the teachers. A name is called the Lama. Also he's reborn. Where? I think in the Yandru is like the turquoise lake, and discovered by the master of the who's I forgot it. Who? Nya. Linjiripa. Ah, you forgot. You didn't study. Ha. And the front of there's noble sanghas, but they are very kind of listen to me at the moment. But when it's finished, they never open the books. Probably you are not that. And also it's like we every morning exercise. There's a very short prayer by the Tonton Gyalros. And then the ending time is same we are praise. Senchen nipa chenye near the Nelly Tajer, Rovne normal, Todan Joan me precious. One verse. Man on Todon Dembaton, somewhat the Jurton the Paton, Kandro Sumbola Sopa, Niji Santon Danji. One verse. Sondo Lam so much in Lapti, Pansy light hit needed, the Dele Samba Yigenda, but selling them they hit them by 3 verses. If you really to good persons, just maybe 20 minutes you can to memorize. We be in this Dharma city almost now 3 months. At the beginning, I asked to them, still there's someone's, even though they difficult to read. You are not, maybe it's like learned, but it's just 3 words. 3 words. When we exercise in the finish, they are running into the telephone. Without telephone, they just... Some very kindly, when I look at their mouth, they don't know it, but they are kind of imitating. They don't know it, but kind of looks like reciting. Of course, they're very kind, but the reality is, why not? This in the prayers, saying very good things. You know, it is you need to say the good things. Even you can to recite the mantra of the good. Often I'm saying, good, good, soha, good, soha. 100% is a help to your life. I give you guarantee. If you say the bad, surely sometimes you receive bad. This is kind of the condition. It's like everything is like depend the circumstances. In the verbally, therefore in the Buddhist perspective, recite a mantra, prayers. And this is very important to say. When you read this, those pray inside the meaning, you can to look. They never say you need to do the negative things. They say, may all the sentient beings to be happy, included yourself. Like this, I say it's like, who discovered the Lama, who is the black horse rider, said, they are immediately checking the books. Forgot it. Me, I forgot it, they forgot it, you forgot it. Okay, but anyway, we are like kind of children. You know, it's children go to in the mountains, we pick up stone to make the bell, like kind of bedding. This is house, this is yak, this is horse, this is like my father, this mother, this Sara, sister, brother. They collect toys, like collect the stone. But in Europe, you don't need, the children has a lot of toys. I do like this kind of, we call the kindergarten, of course. Like, okay, we are become kindergarten. Maybe during the wind study, when we conversations, probably a little bit we put habitual tendencies, and one day probably we can to remember. Okay, like this. And now it's like talking about the, we should to taking cares. Here is the yesterday, like kind of the public things. And also it's like your activism sometimes easily to reborn in the ephemeral health, which kind of cause to make the ephemeral health. You know, it is like there's different circumstances, different causes. For example, this, how do you say, it's like a rider horse praised the Lama. And also it's like he lot of took, like hand out or the offering things. And then it's like maybe inner, he hasn't got any inner realization, maybe also sometimes no compassion. And like a kind of the receive, some is like, for example, in the word of my perfect teacher, some of the explanations, some is like puja makers. And particularly some is puja makers doing the, like sacrifice the blood, meat, this thing kind of the puja makers. And also support by the some demon spirit. It looks like kind of very much helpful, but in reality it's very dangerous. This kind of the like some maybe some certain activities can to make the rebirth of the ephemeral. And also here is yesterday we talking about Patrul Rinpoche's sarcastic about the lamas. And some is lamas invited by the patrons. And the patrons or the sponsors. And the patrons killed animals because it's like a lamas most important, like ministers, like king, queens. And they're coming, we need delicious food to make by meat. Then, and like this, then it's like you offer to them, they're like kind of the really, to take a little bit put in the head, the monastery robe, and the patrons or the sponsors put a lot of meal front of them, and then it's like kind of the very like kind of educated way they're eating it. One is everything's a sausage, fat meat, everything is eaten, finished, and then it's like very handsomely to emerge or the like kind of the get up head and gazing and very like handsome or beautiful like this. Here is like I'm today says, but they will have a big problems in their next life. Of course, during in this life, you maybe is very successful, like kind of the black rider horse. And maybe it's like you're wearing the monastery robes, you have the name of the lamas, you're doing puja very powerful, but you haven't got any compassion, don't concern it to the other sentient beings. And maybe it's like we fortunately or the unfortunately, I'm not sure, unfortunately you receive some, it's like kind of the handout, become very comfortable life. But there's negative word, but be careful, the big problems in next life, like a kind of this frog, fish, it's so that discovered Lingeripas and Tonton Gervos, like in the rock, in the lake. In one of the ephemeral hells, when they have to pay back with their own bodies all that they have eaten so many times in this life. And like kind of we say, in this life, you eaten, maybe also the kind of I would to say, hand out, like a kind of the offerings. Maybe also I would to say is taking care of them. Not only that, you kind of misused your business. Maybe it's like you cheated to the others, manipulated, like a kind of mafia way, corruption's way. And you any kind of using your methods to take the others' things. In the word of my perfect teacher says, some business, even this like kind of measures. And if you're selling, sometimes many this kind of happened. When I was someplace, I don't want to say, okay? This is very ugly. They say it's like inside 100 kilo, okay? But sometimes only 97, 98, never have there's 100 kilos. This included outside the sack, everything. Then it's you selling says there is 100 kilo. And then is of course the client, the buyers, they just cannot to say reject. And that is like some in the companies or some is like a law. I don't know, they're doing like this. Then it's like if you kind of saved maybe 10,000 kilos, each 100 kilos you save the 2 kilos, and maybe you also robber, thief. And I heard one in the bank, there's one worker in the bank workers. He all the times, each bank account, he took €1. For one person, there's one missing in the bank account, €1. Doesn't matter, don't care. But then after he's become the millionaires, and then they check how it has become the millionaires, he took each one like this, accumulate. And big problems, if we do like this, and also sometimes when we go to in the public, like kind of the shop, and to areas, like particularly in the shop. This shop is like a common. Maybe it's like sometimes I heard, maybe if you are very much hungry, very much desperate, maybe you can to say sorry, then I think it's better to bake, I'm hungry, can give me. Someone's go to the thief. It doesn't matter to put to here, and eat something there. Never do. If you are really to good persons, and even the like kind of you break something and something fell down, you put back, should to take care. I have one. It's like a monk. He came to in Central Tibetan. It's a traveler. He was desperate. No money, no food, and he was very shy monk. He couldn't to beg. And one day he was so problems, and he went in the visit some temple. In the front of the one statues in the mandala offerings, there are a lot of money. And then he did like this. I'm very sorry. He did like this. Maybe he took 100 or 200. And then of course he go to the restaurant. He eat and then later he's come. And he said, now I need to go back to in these areas. I said, why? I have big regret that. Now I'm quite okay. I want to repayment. That I never ever forgot that. And then it's like he went specifically to there, and he maybe is like more than the 1,000 to put. Like kind of he's visited, he don't need to say nothing, but to took out the maybe 1,000 to put in there. That is like kind of, he says, it's a repayment. Something is some person, I was so much kind of faith into him. A wonderful person. It's like this. Okay, you did it, but never forget it to repay. But also we need to all the times to taking care those things, particularly in the monasteries, belongings others, even the companies, not belong the yours. Sometimes we say, don't worry, this is the centers. Don't worry, this is for the companies. Don't worry. Once it's like I argue with my own student, and companies give you the car, and the Saturday, Sunday, they can to stay at home, and they are driving their own like kind of the company's car. Then they go to the very, very different, far from, maybe you borrow to other your friend, family, it's okay, my company's car. Very ugly, you cannot to say like this, I say. I'm not saying it's my company's okay, don't worry. But I told him, that time it's like, he said, maybe I have the company's car, maybe let's go. No, we cannot. For example, some countries you have limited. You used maybe some like distant you can use, but more than that you need to like confirm to the companies. Like this, belonging the companies, belonging the public things, the monastery, centers, other. For example, if you have the 5 people together, you'll have collective things. It's very, very important. And I'm very much afraid. If I rob one personal things, okay, a personal, I can to repay surely. But if there's 2 or 3 persons collective things, it's a very, very big thing, big negative. It's make kind of the ephemeral health, surely. And therefore, it's like in you eat like in this life, a lot, say, you eat so many times in this life. Maybe you rob it, you misuse a lot. And it's, some great person, like kind of the good, someone has the human qualities. If you rob or thief manipulationally to doing something, it's better to beg. Beg is pure. You are over your weekend to say, please give me something wonderful, and this person's to give. It's a give, direct. And also it's like you can to receive it, you can dedicate it, you can to appreciate it. You are not a robber. Of course, we say the embarrassing, but doesn't matter. If really two problems, and therefore it's like public things, you should to taking care of them. Sometimes we have ideas very much this and kind of. Once it's like a kind of another look there's, but then like a kind of the Chushong, great Kempo of the Ngor. Ngor is like the very special one, Sasha Monastery. There is like some Kembos, very famous, Ngor Kanchens, Ngor Kempo. And this one is a Ngor monastery in Kempo, came to in a Degi, in a Degi king. And he came to there, and of course it's like everybody respect him. And then one day he posted many monks to tell him to say, go to in the rivers, along the banks of the river Unda. Unda means it's like Dege is like kind of the one valley, very like kind of the very big valley. That means the end of the valley. There is like a huge river. I've been many times. And this is like called the Uch River. And then it's like commanding them to let nothing pass by, is it? Whatever coming into the water, please don't kind of let's go catch to say, he said. And towards the evening, they saw a big tree trunk and floating on the water. So they hood means to dragging to out to take into the bank and took it to the Kempo's front and telling him that they had seen nothing else, only this, like the kind of tree trunk, big tree trunks. And then it's like, Kempo, he replies, says, must be it, surely. He said, split it open. And then inside they found a big frog being eaten alive by a mass of insects after doing a purification ritual. And Kempo, he's like kind of making ritual, pour, many did. Then Kempo said that the frog had been a treasure of the Dege, named Poji. Poji was very much manager of the Dege king. He's very famous, but maybe he misused the king things in the royal families. Maybe he's just say, don't worry, this is the king or royals. I'm just to tell you his story of the Lama Kadi, if you met. When I was and came to Dzogchen, first time is of course religious nothing. And I was probably 13 years old, maybe 13 or 14, I'm really not sure. And that time is Lama Kadi is to guardians of the commune. Each village, they collect things. Very huge house, then there's many things inside. Then Lama Kadi, he taking care there, he kind of got the job and there. And then I went to there, we can't go there. Then he make tea, we often, I don't know, it's like, I'm like very much, I like, everybody like him very much. He's a very kind, simple monk. He all the time say, hey. And then something is like we need a commune like this village, things, they're like treasures. Wow, inside the Chinese commune, like communists, that times not many writings. Inside so many, lot of carpet, lot of matters, many things. And then Lama Kadi sleepy on the corner, And I don't know, I want to there. He said, where are you going? I said, I'm not going, I'm not in Robert. But he's in the mat is one, his own like yak leather. It's very thin like this. His sleepy back is the like hundreds patches on the stairs. And he's sleeping in the corner. He never ever used any mattress, carpet. It's incredible. He can use maybe 100 to put one. It's like this common like kind of mattress, carpet. He can, but he never used. Then I thought, wow, this person is something else. Of course, he's like this. He's not. And like this, to using the common things is very, very, very be careful. Individual, one person's things is okay. And one person's thing belonging you robber, thief, and a little bit misused. Maybe it's okay, but common, very, very dangerous. Like this, maybe it's the holder of the treasures, this treasure, the poji. Probably he says, okay, this is a royals, don't worry. Maybe someone's broken something, don't worry, because it's a royals to pay. Royals can't to do it. Because it's the kings. Then he not much caring. Maybe it's like, maybe he give, and sometimes it's like, why not? Therefore, it is the belonging the monastery things, the common things, and you misuse the kind of to your family, your friend. Yeah, why not? We can to help. And through this is a very, very dangerous. Into your individual, your private things to help, why not? And it's like a private things, it's like it's okay. For example, if I would to say, okay, there is one tea. Someone asked me tea. Can you give me tea? You know? This is belonging to maybe one person's. I say, yeah, okay, I used. Okay, maybe one person's. But if there is a collective, maybe 2-3 people collect tea, and it's very then. I cannot say, this okay, it's belonging those people. Never say like this. This is the worst negative things, because it's like common collective things. And he says, maybe says like, okay, there's 5 people, they are rich. It doesn't matter. Just one the back of the tea. That is the teeth, but it's a collective. It's the belong, the common. The one person, okay, maybe this person's come back. Sorry, okay, you need to repayment one person, and you collective, then you need to pay each of them, and therefore it is look the history of the treasure, Degi king's manager, Poji, and how it is the sufferance in the tree. He is like reborn in the femoral, the kind of the realms. And today they might seem all powerful, but all those chiefs, very kind of high position, and high dignities, like kind of the aristocratic, kind of the high positions. You can do this, yeah, it's okay, you can take, this is our community. Never. For example, it's like, it's before. It is amazing. Once I was in the monastery. I'm very happy. It's like there is one person, it's kind of my family. I was the manager, manager in the monastery. Then it's Tingun Chansi Rinpoche came, many like kind of important people. Then it's monastery needed to make preparation of many different food, decorations. They're gone. After there's many left us. And I thought one is like, there's one, my relative monk, it's like, he came to Dechek, and I took some, it's like left some food. And anyway, it's like this going, would you like to see? He's look at me, no, I don't want to eat. What he says, like idioms, like kind of the iron hot liquid. I said, what? He said, I don't want it. This is not belonging to yours. It's belong the monastery. I was very much embarrassed. It's truth. It's even the routine is a routine. It's a go out, go out. Maybe it's all the leaders is coming together. They decided they can give to the others. And okay, them. I myself, I have power. I used this kind of the common things, monasteries. I says, okay, take away. I can give you. I think one other person to make happy. It's these persons making me so much embarrassed, shame me. And says, I don't need, thank you very much. I don't want to drink hot, like liquid of the lavabo or something orange. He says very funny way. And that's true. Sometimes dignities or the chief, high positions, and who is the deep into the public, like poors, you know this word, P-U-R-S-E, poors, purse. Normally in English you say purse. And should think about the ephemeral health and be very careful. The public purse. Can you check the purse? Can you check a purse? Can you check a purse? You know, public things collect like kind of. And also it's like very much. And there's one word, okay, like, dignities who dipped into the public purse should think about the ephemeral hell and be careful. Of course, some people say ephemeral hell is, I don't believe, I don't care these things. Then there's no conversation. You know, what you want, you can do it. Of course, if someone say, I don't believe the causalities, I don't believe God, I don't believe the nature, I don't believe compassion, then what can we do? You say, okay, yeah, okay. What would you like in your coffee? But like this, there is the depth, you know, D-I-P, deep, you know, in the deep of the ocean, sometimes sinking into the. Maybe this one is like needed. It's a Mashashi question me put, but this later, okay? And in Tibetan, it's like Xing or the Njing, say, like kind of that. It's because there's some lots of us speak perfect Tibetan. Therefore, I'm telling. Okay, like now it's like the public purse should think about purse. You should to learn, memorize the public, lick or public purse, public purse, you know, public, common purse, collective purse. Should think about the ephemeral health and be very, very careful that we need to injured by the ephemeral hell. And at the time of the Buddha, there was a village butcher who made a vow never to kill animals at night. He was reborn in the ephemeral hell. Why he reborn in the ephemeral hell? Because he killing. And ephemeral hell is like the cause of the reborn into the ephemeral hell. Of course, there's no certainty cause. Different type of the cause can to make rebirth into the ephemeral hell. Ephemeral hell. And also it's like this person, like this. At night his leisure knew no bounds. He lived in a beautiful mansion, beautiful house, like a palace. Mansion is the house, beautiful, with 4 lovely women play him with food and drink and other pleasures. That is the like kind of the during the night. Therefore, sometimes to make the commitment, it's wonderful. For example, someone's like kind of taking the silent vows during this sagadas. Maybe you naturally to be silent or shatapism, and or it's like you take vows is completely different. You take a vows, something indivisible you received, and then it's like your vows is very powerful. Therefore, this butcher, he take a vow. He says, during the night, I never kill any animals. Then it's night, he's very much pleasure. His is like a kind of the bound, means it's like everything's. He live in the beautiful mansion. And mansion is the house or palace with 4 lovely women play with him. Or like a servers. It's not necessarily there is, but this is kind of the idioms. With the food, most tasty food, and most tasty soft drinks, like made by the Nyoa, and food is made by the Choa. It's delicious? Maybe, maybe not. Other also, there's many different pleasures, music, dance, and many things like this. And then it's like, then during the day, however, the whole of the house would transform into blazing hot metal. Then he needed to familiar hell. The 4 women into the tire fire. No, it's like the brown ducks. I all the time make must duck and duck. Ducks who fed on his body like kind of the eaten like him, to bite him, and like kind of take piece of his body. Whole day he needed to suffer like this. And then during the night, he becomes same as the normal. He can go to the beautiful mansions, until he can to enjoy like this. And also another, there is his stories. Long times ago, Shorana source. Shorana is Trojan, is Sanskrit. One adult who had vowed to keep from infidelity during the days. Infidelity during the day. In contrast to the butcher. He suffered only during the night. Of course. And these activities, maybe it is rarely doing during the day. It's only in the night. But according his vows, he took vows. I never do this kind of activities during the day. And then it's like a contrast to the butchers. And like a kind of what is happened, same as and this butcher man, like a butcher. Butcher is like during the night, he can go to the beautiful mansion place. During the day, he is needed to suffering. And this person he's during the day is half nice, but whole night is like sufferings. Only during the night he is such sufferings. He reborn like kind of the ephemeral hell. And also it's like there's another history. There was once a delightful monastery housing about 500 monks. And then what happened? Ugly things happened. When the bell rang, like we are here in the Dharma city, food is ready, tang, 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 tang. Around midday, and the monks gathered to eat, the monastery would turn into a house of burning metals. And like a candle in the middle, and this one is, the sound is coming, all those monks coming into in the like kind of the kitchen house. And then the house is become very strange, turn into the house of the burning metal house. And then is what happened. The monks begging bowls, cups, and so forth would change into weapons. And the monks would beat each other with them. And this is we call the ephemeral hell. What happened? Once the lunch hour had ended, they would separate it and take their place against it. And when it's the time is like middle days finished, and then it's like normal. They can take their own begging bowls, on like candle go to separate own way. What happened? This kind of situations now is like a saying. In the day of the Buddha Kashyapa, this is Kashyapa, is the I told you, is this he argued. Many monks had argued at the time of the midday meal. You know, it's like during the Buddhas. Many these days, some good monks, they eat like per day, maybe breakfast, some tea or some a little bit. Middle they eat. In the evening they don't eat. They sometimes one meal per day. Like this middle they eating meal in the kitchen. Then there is something disagreement. And also disagreement many happened. Therefore, it's a Kashyapa was very kind. When it's like Buddha is the big parinirvana in the Dzogchen. Dzogchen is like, how do you say in Sanskrit? One is like he's passed away there. And the Kashyapa, he wasn't there, you know. And then he heard that Buddha said, after the 7 days, I'm going nirvana. He said, he proclaimed, I'm going to die. Of course, 1 week, like some student, particularly I think it's Mongala or Shariputra. And then they asked to him, and you cannot die. Then he says, okay, 1 week I will stay, and then after 1 week he says, it's like 7 weeks or something. He extended. And then it's like, I need to go because it's like kind of the showing the impermanent. And then there's heard that, but Kashyapa was very far, and he coming to the want to see this teacher Buddha, but he's almost near this area arrive. He saw the one monk. This monk to saw the Kashyapa's crying and like tears coming, and then this monk said, "Why are you crying?" Because our teachers may be going to parinirvana. And then it's like the monk says, "It's very good." Why? Because he give all the time is discipline. It's like this you can do, this you shouldn't do. All the times like kind of the ordered. If he passed away, then we are very happy, freedoms. Kashyapa was very sad. Now I understand. If Buddha passed away, our Sangha has big problems. And then after Buddha passed away, I think it's just after he passed away, before burn, Buddha's like cremating Buddha's body, and he arrived late. And then everything's done after just a few months, and then he wanted to collect Buddha's teaching. And during the Buddha's teachings, it's like some disciples' mind is like kind of really recorder, or the first collection of the Buddha's teaching. But also there are like kind of the disagreement, is particularly in the quoting the Pali traditions. There's such a kind of a little bit different argumentations. It's like Shavaka Pachika, particularly those Shavakas, and split it like 18 different groups. Probably maybe these kind of argumentations, then there was the fully erupted, and that's effect. And like this, then these 8 hot hells, 8 cold hell, the neighboring hells, and the ephemeral hell are the together called the 18 hell realms. And 18 hells, 18, 16, and all is like 4 neighboring hells, 1, 17, ephemeral hells, and then is the 18. And of course, it's a different way. It's like we say it's like, for example, 16, 4, 20, like 21. But here is the 18, how it is the counted. 8 hot, 8 cold, 4 neighboring is like 1. We can to count neighboring hells, 1, and then this ephemeral hells. Together is the 18 hell realms. Now we already explored. We understood very, very carefully. We studied the number of the how many there is that the life spent, the length of time is spent in them, how much they are suffers, injured, and which kind of cause of the being reborn are there, and meditate all this kind of the situations, and include you bring into your compassion. And at the beginning you need to generate bodhicitta, in the middle non-conceptualization, and it's all the virtues to dedicate to them. It is the very, very important. And that's we should to do it that. We need to like this. Not kind of the only explode, like when we go to in some poor countries, Africas. Some great persons, they go to in the Africa or India or Tibet or Nepal and some poor countries, and they really to understood these situations. They come back, they say, I want to create charity. I want to create there's a hospital, like a school. I want to 1 or 2 days like those I can sponsor to make it comfortable. It's a wonderful. This kind of, you go to there to understand the situations, then easily to create a compassion, easily to help, to easily understand other sentient beings. Time not existent, but now is the time, like 10:30, is now is like the time to drink cappuccino. Okay, half an hour we need to rest.